Hey, what's up, everyone? Morey Croson here from the Performance Lab of California. We have another new breakdown for you today on Jalen Ramsey. I'm actually surprised I haven't done this breakdown in the past. Jalen Ramsey, obviously one of the best corners in the NFL, and we'll just go ahead and hop right into the breakdown here. First thing that I repeatedly see and repeatedly like to talk about when it comes to the start is looking to see the first movement out of that front leg, right? And we're seeing that front knee drop, and we're seeing full extension in the back leg as he's accelerating. Now, Jalen's pretty tall for a corner, so he does a great job of being able to pick up a good amount of distance. But look at how much extension he's able to get through that down foot there, and it's really interesting to see for him how much range of motion he gets within his arms. He obviously has pretty long arms, too, for his size, or just as a quarterback in general. And so being able to being able to see that, I think is super interesting. Really good up on his front toe there as he's landing and going in and pushing off. But look at that full range of motion and being able to get full extension out of that back arm and really drive that front arm all the way up. And I think that's important. I think there's a lot of guys that get their timing off with their steps, and that really has a big impact on their ability to get a nice start, is because if you're going through and as you extend, you're not in those max ranges of motion within your arms yet. I think that really impacts your ability to really fully push off within that back leg and really be able to pick up a good amount of distance on each one of your steps. So now we're seeing himself land. He's still really good on the balls of his feet. He's obviously ends up leaning pretty far forward in these positions here. Could probably do a better job of maintaining a little bit more of his weight a little bit more forward rather than being so far up. Right now it is a little bit more challenging for him because of his height, but being able to keep himself a little bit more with his weight in front of him would make it so then he wouldn't have so much roundedness within his spine. Now, what we're seeing, and the reason that usually happens is because you put a big focus on that knee drive, right? If you're focusing a little bit too much on getting your knees up rather than getting your knees out, then that causes that spine to round a little bit as they're accelerating. All right, so now he's getting into 10 yards. Now he's starting to really open up, and he's doing a lot better job once he starts opening up and being able to really get a lot of vertical force out of each one of his steps. I think that's where he gets all of his speed from. He just does a great job of being vertical while he's sprinting, right? He pushes off. He doesn't let his feet get too far back behind him, so he's very quick on each one of his steps there, and also does, again, a great job of maintaining a really solid posture here. Each one of his steps. Now, I think with his arm positions, he could definitely improve that. The elbow is getting way too far back behind him, or the wrist is getting way too far back behind him there, right? We want to really be able to drive that elbow upwards a little bit more. He does a better job on the left side. On the right side, he really lets that arm straighten out and get really far back behind him, which would probably impact his leg too. It probably makes that leg get a little bit further back behind him as well. Usually when you have one limb that's not working the right way, or has some inefficiencies, then we also see the opposite leg have that same type of inefficiency. So he might be a little bit longer with his step on that left side. You can see how he's really driving that foot upwards there, which would also show that he probably has that foot a little bit further back behind him. Where on this right one, see how he drives that right foot straight up and through. So a little bit of a difference left side compared to right side, and that could obviously cause different types of compensation and inefficiencies, but sometimes being inefficient, not having everything perfect on one side or the other, is actually beneficial. Actually helps you in becoming more athletic. It is actually a benefit more so than a harm. You just want to be able to understand if you do have certain type of asymmetries from one side or the other, what those are, and be able to get the right ranges of motion, do the right stretches, do the right exercises, whether it's strengthening or stretching, to make sure that you're not ending up making yourself worse by having a compensation one side to the other, but instead making it so it is helping you become a better overall sprinter. All right, excellent job landing on the balls of his feet, an excellent job staying overall vertical. I think from a leg perspective, the other big thing I'd say is his heels are getting a little bit higher than you want. You can see where his heel position is, then how he has to drop that foot down first, then bring it forward. I usually try to say just to bring your leg straight through, and that's a little bit more efficient, a little bit more effective when it comes to sprinting, but he does a great job of landing with that foot basically right underneath him. He's doing a really good job of that, maintaining a great posture all the way through, and pushes off the leg at a good time as well. So I think there's a lot of things that you can learn from here and watching Jalen Ramsey, especially the start. If he can go off with that start and be able to keep himself more on the balls of his feet, more on his toes, keeping those heels off the ground, then really anybody can, right? Especially some of you guys that are 5'10", 5'11", anything like that. You could really do a great job being able to be much more on the balls of your feet, much more on the toes as you're starting, which will help you in being a lot quicker and get you up to your top end speed a lot faster. All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions. We're doing a bunch of cool different things within our speed program, within our Zoom sessions that I think have really been able to help guys out a lot. So if you have any questions about that, reach out to me. Would happy be to talk to you about that and how we can help you in improving your speed.